than they were without the log jam, without the log drives. The last log drive was on the Kennebec in 1976, but it takes time for all this to happen. But it's a very cool industry and very profitable if somebody can figure out a way to get those logs out and dry them out and make a lot of money.
I'm just struck by the counterintuitiveness of pulling out the logs because the environmentalists say don't touch anything. Can you comment?
I don't have a right or wrong answer for the environmentals or what happened. All I can say is this is what we did to the rivers. We can't change that. I think cleaning them is a good idea. But
okay.
I'm just saying there's no right. I mean, these logs exist. There's no right or wrong. It's like the dams. Everyone says, "Pat, you want them to take the dams down?" Well, they exist there, and we have they are being used. So I mean, what do we give up to take these dams down? I mean, you know, it's a hard decision, and there's no right or wrong answer. It all depends. I think I love to be outside. I love to go to these places. So I'm thinking that I like it as natural as possible, but the reality is they're not. And I think we just have to learn to live with that or do our best to clean it up as best we can. Not a good answer, I'm sorry, but
no, that's great.
I'm going to sit on the fence.
That's great. I just had to ask.
It's okay. Yes.
I enjoyed your talk, but Pat, when you talked about the Lewiston Falls, I'm on a campaign to try to debunk the story about the Indian going over the falls.
So please feel free to debunk.
The falls were never known as Lewis Falls. It was named after Lewiston because it was never considered the Lewiston Falls until after Lewiston had been named. And Lewiston was named by the Pajutskut proprietors who granted the land that is now Lewiston to Josiah Little and Bagley, Jonathan Bagley. And Lewiston was named after Job Lewis, who was a Pajutskut proprietor. He wasn't alive at that time, but his son-in-law was among the 3 men who were at the Pajutskut proprietors meeting when the town was, or the grant was named Lewiston. And so I think it's a myth to attribute it to a drunken Indian going over the falls. It's just one of those stories that I read it in a newspaper as of 1821 or 23, that myth.
Yeah.
But
and actually, even if you read some of the diaries of the settlers of town, they say that that's what they had heard. So it's.
Yeah. Well.
But they make stuff up. They do.
They make it
love
up.
the good tale. So.
Yeah. And.
I believe your story. Mine might be more fun, but your story's probably true.
If Nancy LeCompte were here, she would probably challenge the story about Weir and the
well, actually,
and the tragedy at the falls.
There's 2 places where that supposedly takes place. It could be Deer Rips, which is another place where they talk, or they say it's the Lewiston Falls.
Right.
And if you go to both places, they say both places have almost the same exact story. So if you read it in here, I was just reading about Lewiston, but if you go to my Deer Rips part in the book, it'll tell you the story starts here. Something happened here. We don't know what it is, but something weird happened at these falls.
Yeah, something happened. She believes something happened.
But what it, and I agree. We don't know what it is, and that's what I'm saying. It's just something happened somewhere.
Okay.
But thank you.
Okay. I try to document this in a book, Frontier to Industrial City, that's on the table.
Oh, cool. Very cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Patricia has invited you to look at her books and touch them and ask more questions or have a book signed. Thank you all for coming. If anybody has to leave, we are planning our program agenda for the next academic year. We've started discussing it. If anybody has ideas for programs they'd like to see us offer or that we've not offered before, please let us know. We've started working on it. And again, thank you for attending tonight. We appreciate it.